Ah, frosting. It's sweet and it's fluffy and it makes a great topping for cakes and cookies. But you know, you can also use frosting as a filling. And that's exactly what I'm doing with my chocolate Swiss roll. First thing I have to do is make the chocolate cake. So I'm starting off with 5 eggs in my mixing bowl. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar to them. And this next step is a little something different when it comes to cake making. I actually have to cook the sugar. By liquefying the sugar, it makes the cake itself flexible so I can shape it into that spiral shape without it cracking. So the first thing I want to do is put a 1/4 cup of water in a pot, and I add to that 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. I want to boil the sugar to 239. There we go. To do this safely, I turn on the mixer on high speed and I pour the hot sugar down the side of the bowl, not into the beaters. Look at the volume you get from those 5 eggs. It's incredible. And to turn this into a chocolate cake, I'll sift 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, and then I just need a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and to balance out the sweetness, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'll use a spatula to quickly fold in the batter. I have a 10 by 15 jelly roll pan, and what a jelly roll pan is simply a baking pan with a lip to it, so it can hold in all this luscious batter. And I didn't grease the pan. I put parchment on the bottom, but I actually want the cake batter to stick to the edges of the pan. That way, as the sponge cake lifts, it stays in place. The nice thing about a sponge cake like this is it takes no time to bake, just 15 minutes in a 375 oven. Oh, this smells incredible. Gotta love a chocolate cake. Now, I'll run an offset spatula around the inside edge of the pan. I give it a little dusting with icing sugar. That way, when I put the tea towel on top of it, the tea towel won't stick. Then, I use the tea towel as my pot holders here. Flip, lift away the pan. And you wanna just peel that away. Now a little dusting on this side. And this may seem funny, but you actually have to tuck the tea towel in as you roll. That way, the cake won't stick to itself. So I'll put this aside, and that gives me the perfect amount of time to make the cream cheese filling / frosting. I have a full package of softened cream cheese, and I'm going to add to that 6 tablespoons of softened butter. So now that I have my fluffy cream cheese and butter, I'm going to add in a cup of sifted icing sugar and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I have a cooled Swiss roll sponge cake right here that I will unwrap carefully. Before I put all of this cream cheese frosting in the center, I'm actually going to hold some back for decorating right on top. There we go. Take your offset spatula and then spread it into an even layer. So now, forget the tea towel, just roll up the cake, and there it is. And I'll pop this on a tray. Chilling the Swiss roll for 2 hours allows the cream cheese and the butter to set up. Just lift it onto my cutting board. Give a little trim. So now the finishing touch, just a little of that cream cheese frosting right on top. And while it's still soft, a little sprinkling of dragées, just for a pop of color. There we go. And just a little dusting of icing sugar on the sides. A couple of fresh berries. What I love about this, when you put your fork through it, the texture of the cake and the frosting match. And that's actually very important when it comes to pairing frostings and cakes together.